There it is. Go live. Okay, connecting stream. Here we go. And hi, everybody. This is Michael Airington, and we're getting shit. Oh God, there it goes. Hold on. Oh, okay. Sorry. I can't do this anymore, people. We're starting from scratch. We're trying to do Instagram. I have 2 sets of audio and I can't get rid of the audio from the Instagram. But are you ready for 2 of my favorite psychic mediums, intuitives? I mean, they will blow you away and they're dying to get started. And before we do that, we're going to do this.
Now shut up, the show's starting.
Whoa. Okay, just to put it in a nutshell, trying to live stream to Instagram. The audio picks up because I'm doing it from here. So I wonder if I have to do it from my phone. I guess we're going to have to do a test and see how it works out. But anyway, we are in the second half of what's going to happen in 2024. It almost sounds like a game show, doesn't it? Anyway, I'm Michael Airington, and it's been a while for those of you that are checking into the show for the first time since I've been on the air. But I have 2 of the most incredible friends that are coming on. And not only are they just friends, they excel in their craft, which being psychic mediums, intuitives. And I want to bring them in right now, because if I don't bring her in first, I will hear about it. So put your hands together, and I'm going to get yelled at in a second. Put your hands together and welcome. There she is.
You are. You're crazy. Ooh, that's awesome. Hi.
Hi, Debbie. How are
Hi,
you?
everyone. I'm good. I'm good. Happy New Year, everybody. I see you all coming on. Oh my God, Rebecca's on and Sadie's on. Oh my God. And Ivory's on. And
I know. Is there anybody else on the show today? Oh, yeah, he's flipping me off in the green room. Everybody put your hands together and welcome Louis Baby!
My friend.
You old hag. Hi, my lovely Debbie.
Oh, see, you know what? I'm just going to let you 2 go at it, and then I will just take all the compliments.
As we said, this is our little love language.
This is, I know, it is your love language, and, thank God it's yours and not mine. And thank you so much, Rebecca. Oh my gosh. That's
wow,
so
look at
sweet.
everybody.
Hi, Deborah.
There's Angela from New Zealand. There's Rebecca.
Happy New Year.
Oh, that darn Janet DeBella's back in here again.
And
my
Janet.
favorite Janet.
And my favorite Janet, too. We're going to fight over favorite Janet. Oh my God.
I got my own bedroom at her house. So just saying.
Well, I might have to steal it if I come out there. So just saying.
Oh gosh.
Oh gosh, is Michael here too? Wow.
Yeah.
As we say Happy New Year and welcome to everyone.
2024.
2024. What a crazy
happy almost out of Mercury retrograde.
Now today, direct station.
10:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mercury will go direct.
Right.
Well, it's direct station right now, right? So it cast it before it's stopped. It's hanging in the air, waiting to start.
It's like in the starting blocks
motion. So it'll be what, like 2 weeks to 3 weeks, at some level before it starts.
Well, that's when you go in transition. So there's still the tail that we have to deal with. But 10:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when it officially goes direct. So it's going to start moving. The illusion moving the right way.
Yeah.
Perfect. The illusion. Here we go. I'm moving this over here. That way I can get this here. There we go. So see, I like doing the big.
We are recording it, Rebecca, so you can replay.
It'll be on my channel or Lewis's channel or Michael's channel. So yes,
somehow or another, somebody's channel.
It's gonna be somewhere.
It's gonna be somewhere.
It'll be on all of our channels. Actually, we just have to.
Yeah.
Oh, Debbie Kiefer said, Esther TV on TV watching Debbie's link on YouTube. How cool is that?
Got it covered.
There we go.
So, what'd you do for New Year's, Debbie?
Oh my God, I was as boring as the two of you.
I went to an Italian restaurant around the corner.
And picked up food and came home and watched Anderson Cooper. I watched ABC and Ryan Seacrest. And which I don't usually do, but I did that. And no, I actually had it's very strange. I had no desire to go out. I didn't even do I was telling a friend earlier today, I didn't even do the "oh woe is me, I'm alone on New Year's Eve" thing. I was like, I am so happy to be here with my cats. And I just kicked back and had some soup and had a treat. I had some chocolate coconut ice cream, something like that. And
crazy.
Yeah, I know. It was crazy. I didn't even have a drink. I have like this little bit of thing of ice wine, what it's called, which is amazing, that I got in Toronto a couple of years ago. I just haven't drank it because it's anyway. But that's what I did. I really didn't do much, and it really had no. Like a lot of times on New Year's, I'll be like, "Oh, I'm so glad that's over. Okay, I'm looking forward to." But I have hit the ground running like a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I was already kind of grounded into the energy and had sort of let go of all of it.
Right.
So yeah, that's what I did. I'm sorry, it's not exciting, but you know what? Sometimes being a psychic, it is very loud out there because we don't just hear the physical sounds. And I think Lewis will agree with me on this. We don't hear just the physical sounds, and all you empaths out there. That's why sometimes you want to isolate, right? Because everything is it's like super amplified in our heads, right? So the quiet and I don't want to call it solitude, and it's definitely not isolation. It's just sometimes it's quietness. And I did a nice meditation, for like an hour at like 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. I forgot what time, but it was kind of later, before I had a later dinner and everything. And it was nice. So,
how about you, Lewis? What'd you do?
Nothing. I had a very. I had a very, very hectic, busy last few months, and I just wanted to fully pull the plug out.
Yeah.
And so I sat home. I bought some champs and drank some champs and watched with you. Well, not with you, but with you, Michael, the Anderson Cooper and what's his other name? Andy Cohen. So I saw that, and then I think I was in bed 12:30.
So I was in bed because it was a different time. I was in bed by 10:30 Pacific Coast time because it was the first time that I had not in 8 years didn't have the fireworks outside my balcony. Right. All of Vegas and people. I always had parties every year, so this year was kind of like I'm just sitting here with me and my dog eating that Italian food.
There
you go.
But Anderson Cooper and
Andy
Cohen were so much fun. And my favorite whole thing was John Mayer and them.
Oh, the cat.
When he called in from the cat bar in Tokyo.
You know what? Like 10 people have sent me that. I haven't even had a chance to look at it. I can't wait to actually watch. But about 10 people sent me private messages with that clip.
With the butthole of the cat. Anybody who has cats knows cats always turn the buttholes to you, and
it's a term of endearment,
right? But it was
to the camera funny. For like millions of people.
Yeah, it was very funny.
Yeah,
because Mayer completely did the entire thing deadpan.
Exactly, like he had no expression whatsoever, which made it even funnier.
And Cooper, the Anderson lost it. He just couldn't. He couldn't. He had to.
And he giggles like a little schoolgirl.
Right.
Oh, he's so funny. Wait, somebody says my son and I went to Times Square. You were in Times Square last night, Rebecca?
Yeah, she says I have been dreaming of it my whole life in Texas. Wow. Did you go last night, Rebecca?
No, that's amazing. Wow.
Well, apparently they don't let you into Times Square until 3 p.m. And then you have to wait until like 7 or 8 before the show actually starts.
You can't pee. You can't do anything.
Right. There's porta potties periodically, but
once you get down to the front, then you have to battle the crowd.
Yeah, exactly. So you're brave.
I was, wow, standing behind. Wow. That's amazing.
Wow.
I
Cool,
will
cool,
say,
cool.
so, of all the people, and I don't know if I'm like a huge fan or not a huge fan, but LL Cool J killed it last night.
He was on Ryan's?
He was on Ryan. Yeah.
He was on Ryan's. LL Cool J killed it. It was fantastic. And
he did a whole dance?
he did a whole thing, like kind of a
Wow.
longer set and everything. And it was amazing. And I flipped over to Anderson for a little while, but
Yeah.
I got very sucked into that, and I never do. I'm like, boy, usually flip between all of them, you know, just to see what they're doing. And last night I was like, okay, this is good. But, you know, anyway, but I can't believe that's so cool that you were there. I just can't even imagine being there. I would have had to pay the $1,600 to go to Applebee's for dinner to have a ringside seat, because that was what they were charging. Is the
Applebee's upstairs?
No, it's ground level, but they had a spot, like they have it all cordoned off in front of there, so everybody from the restaurant could get up and get a bird's eye view. They're right there. And so they charge a boatload, and then apparently they, you know, they don't do Applebee's menu. It's steak and lobster and champagne and all of that.
Right. No, it's because I remember I lived in New York, right up the street. I lived at West 57th between 8th and 9th, right outside Columbus Circle was right out my back door, and that's how I lost my
virginity.
You're what?
I lost my apartment in New York because of Times Square, because I rented it out to somebody, and then they in turn rented it out to somebody else. And so when the people that rented it, they weren't supposed to rent it out to somebody. They made money on top of what they'd paid me. And, and the super of the building gets in the elevator with these people. What are you doing? Oh, we're here watching Times Square. We rented an apartment. Oh, which one? 5G. What? And I forget where the hell I was, but I wasn't at the place. And yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, what the hell? But hey, I tell everybody you should live in New York once in your life, at least just once. So everybody, hello. Those that are coming in, we really have a major audience. I'm looking at the numbers over here on my main page. We have a lot of people here today. And the whole purpose of this show is to get a look at what's going to happen in 2024, what these two incredible people feel and think what's going to happen in 2024. And if you saw the earlier show, you saw Pat Dumas, astrologer and intuitive, had really come up with some fascinating, I hate to say predictions, but I guess you could say that. But what she feels, what she sees in astrology, in the charts of the country, and that's what she did. And what was so funny, before we came on the air, I was talking to Lewis, and he agreed. He was feeling the same thing. And so people, we're also going to do readings, but we're going to wait before we get into doing readings and stuff. There are no rules, right, with the readings. It doesn't
we have no rules. No. Lewis and I have no rules. It just depends on how we answer you. That's
exactly all. So if you want to ask about dead Uncle Pete, who died 20 years ago, you know, in the crapper, we'll find out if he's still number one. I mean, number two.
Yeah, but the only thing you got to remember about that is there is no such thing as dial a spirit. So just because you're asking about great Uncle Paul or whatever doesn't mean that they're going to show up. So right.
But anyway,
Karen, oh my God, Happy New Year.
Who's that, Karen?
Yeah, I'm just saying hello to people because my typing is like loud next to my microphone.
My 12-year-old niece is here, Ava Thompson.
Oh, is that?
Hi, Ava.
Oh, is that? Oh, I see. Hey, hi, Ava. How are you? Janet did say hi. She was happy that you were fighting over the bedroom. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah. We can. But, I think we can scroll. Yeah.
So let me ask. I don't know who we want to take this off with. Is there anything in particular either of you feel is something that, I don't want to say bothers you, that makes you a little nervous about 2024? Is there anything that you possibly see that makes you feel nervous about 2024? Debbie, we'll go to you first.
So here's the thing, that the way I look at it, things don't make me nervous because I look to see what is there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not what I consider that might make me nervous might not make someone else nervous, but might make someone else terrified. And so I like to kind of talk about what's there and what I see as coming down the pike. I would say, because I made a few notes, and you know, we might be in for a rocky start, kind of in the beginning of the year, and
It may not be
there's
might. It is.
yeah,
It is.
it's a very rocky. I mean, it actually looks like boulders to me, like that there's boulders that have to be moved and things like that, and also that they seem immovable, but they're not immovable because we can move mountains in ways that you can't even imagine with our energy, with our spirit, and with our light.
Now,
Yeah?
let me say something. You did not watch the first show, correct?
No, I did not at all. I was at a party.
Good. No. It's just amazing what you're saying.
Oh, okay. I'm assuming that it might have sounded
Exactly
hey,
the
Gail,
same.
Happy New Year.
Exactly.
It looks right. And all I do, so I don't do the astrology. I don't look at the planets and the alignments and things like that. I'm very dumb about
Right.
astrology. I follow it, but I don't do it. And I just read the energy. But to me, it just looks like these big giant boulders and everything that is there, and particularly in the financial markets. Part of what I am seeing here is for next year is that there's going to be this like weird up and down in the financial markets, and there's a lot of confusing energy or confusion energy around it. And if I were to say anything, because you said what makes me nervous, that doesn't make me nervous as much as what I see with it is that people get caught up in the fear of it all. Like, and I'm not talking about swings. I'm talking about, you could be looking at the numbers and one person sees them one way and another person sees them another way. Right. And the pundits, the talking heads are going to all have their asshole opinions that everyone has. And so what I would say is that the financials might be a little bit rocky, and I'm talking about a global, on a global scale. Yeah. But the energy is so thick, and the distraction energy that even when you start to look at it, it might be, oh, like squirrel. And then what was I just looking at? Yeah. So I think the biggest, one of the biggest takeaways, like for me, that when I was looking at all the energy is then the opposite end of that spectrum, where I've been seeing for the past couple of weeks this brand new quality of gold energy that's actually coming onto the planet at a global level. And so what happens when everybody takes a step up in their vibration, all the gook starts coming out, all the anger and the pain, and that may be part of what's going to be causing this rockiness. Yeah. But come October, I actually saw it looked like this. Well, the best way to describe it would almost be like a weird commercial where the skies opened up and the sun started shining and the angels, like the angels came out. So I do see that as rocky as it's going to be kind of in the beginning, that come October, it starts to open up and we're going to start to see the light, and we're going to have more understanding and more awareness as a whole. Right? Not just these light people over here or these light people over here. That as a whole, there's a step up in energy. So I know that didn't exactly answer your question about what makes me nervous, because it's not really nervous. It is going to be rocky, and we need to just let that be. Don't resist it. Don't fight it. Don't there's nothing. If you fight it, it's just going to hurt.
Right. So, Lewis, what is there anything in particular that you feel psychically, intuitively, that concerns you or concerns the world?
I don't think. Well,
because you remember, you live in Canada.
Yes.
You don't really, American politics, Canadian politics, they're two different things.
Yep.
But you still are impacted by what happens in our country.
Oh, for sure.
The whole world is impacted. But what do you feel there's something like is there something that concerns you? Is that a good way to put it?
Yeah. 2023 was all about everyone felt pain, financial pain, politics pain, policy pain. Like there's a lot of pain. There's still going to be pain in 2024, but the average person is in that healing process. There's still the powers that be that try to influence behind the scenes are in a bigger power struggle now. It's like the old, like the Rothschilds, the Vanderbilts, those kinds of people are trying to be overtook by the new. Right. So there's a power struggle. It's kind of like the Gilded Age, if anyone watches the Gilded Age. Right. I love it, that, by the way. Yeah. And so old money versus new money, old power versus new power. And I'm just going to throw it out here. Putin going down. You think? Going down.
I think he's going to die, but that's beside.
Well, I think
I think he's lost it.
Yeah.
Somebody doesn't like him. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And as far as the US goes, I think there's going to be a person from out of nowhere, even though he's been in plain sight, who is going to grab the ballot. I don't think, and this was discussed a little bit on the previous show, I don't think Biden nor Trump is going to get it. There's going to be a lot of water issues in the world, tsunamis, sinkholes, flooding. There's going to be way more of that than we've had, even though it's been increasing every year. But this is going to be the 2024 is going to be where the water really affects a lot of the world.
Japan had an earthquake, 7 point something. Yeah, just like we had an earthquake this morning here. Yeah. 4.1.
So this is another kind of like Mother Earth purge, and she is like, it's kind of like getting COVID for the second time, and it is like she did it once already about 12-ish years ago, but now she's back and she has to Newsom is, he's pretty, I think he's going to surprise a lot of people without surprising a lot of people. I just think for the people that don't want to vote for him, they're going to be surprised with Newsom. But this second wave of purging for Mother Earth is going to be deeper. It's going to, like, for example, when COVID first hit, and and the only time the world truly comes together is when there's a catastrophe.
And that's what happened.
And so we're all going to start coming together in 2024, second half of 2024. But in the first half, it's going to be get your popcorn and get your favorite chair, because there's a lot of shit going on.
Yeah.
We were talking about the whole politic thing and the first show, and we were talking about. I was reading this story about the House. The House here is run by right now. It's in the power position. The MAGA Republicans have it, and they're crazy. But yesterday Kevin McCarthy is no longer a part of the House, so their majority went down. They only have, I guess it's one or two, and they got rid of Santos. They had four. They had a 4-seat. That was all they had separating them from power. And two just went out. And
what the hell? That was cute.
Lewis, are you farting balloon colors? What the hell was that?
the timing of that was so perfect. You said,
like,
and there's another 2 going, and then apparently there was a celebration
My hands are
on
here.
your screen.
Did
Oh
you
my
hit?
God.
I didn't
I
sing.
know. Oh my gosh.
Yes, Janet. One of them is going to come use your extra bedroom and fight over it. The guest room. Is that Lewis, or is it Debbie? One of the two. Or will I send Champers there for a weekend? Anyway,
Maybe an
God.
hour.
yeah, that's it. No,
Hello, Tom Dinder. Nice to see you.
But anyway, what I was saying is that they have now just have a 2-seat majority, and what happens is, and there's another guy that's getting ready to leave because he took a job, which means they will only have a 1-seat.
And there's going to be another illness.
But wait, the thing is, there is a procedure that Hakeem Jeffries can use, that if on a day that there are not enough Republicans in the House, the Democrats can take control of the House, because of there wouldn't be enough Republicans to have a majority, and they can do that. It's pretty amazing. And it was in the New York Times and it was in the Washington Post. I read both the stories and I went, get down. That could possibly happen. And they were saying the biggest gift the Republicans gave to the Democrats. This is what it is. And it's as we all know, there's nothing crazy, or nothing can be crazier than crazy right now in politics. It's like so freaking, none of us would have ever thought that. So anyway, that was.
I don't know. I've thought that for a long time, and I was talking about it, but nobody wanted to listen because everybody had it in their heads that we had come out of all of the hate and the vitriol and the anti-Semitism and all of that. Everybody thought that was done.
Right.
Well, but even before that, people thought it was done. I was talking to people. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's not done. It's right here. It's in our face. It's underneath, it's underneath all of things.
Well, it's being switched.
It's being switched up. But so Lewis, I have a question for you. Do you see, because I also see a lot of different souls leaving the planet again.
Yes.
Like in kind of groups. There were a lot of people who left who transitioned in the last quarter of this year. I noticed people and pets that were leaving. I think we're going to see a lot more of that. What's your thought on that?
So I want to prefix that. I agree with you. Yeah. But here's the thing about catastrophes and mass amounts of people dying. Get out of your human ego head for 1 second. We all have a mission as a soul, and we need to perform that mission in human form. So we come down. When we are a spirit soul, we don't have human emotion. So all we focus on is the love, the learning. So we don't have the disconnect of fear and anger and betrayal and whatever else. So there's a ton of soul spirits who, over the last 5 to 6 years and moving forward to about another 2 more years, are going to exit. But it's tragedy still as a human to lose a loved one. But they are completing their mission through a death of tragedy, so that the people left behind can learn to come together. So this is totally a different scenario from a human perspective and from the spiritual perspective of what do we need to learn when we come down here, and what are we going to do if certain souls are deciding to take one for the team. This is what they're doing for taking one for the team, is they're going to to get to that next level of their evolvement as a soul. They're going to leave us in a human tragedy way. So,
but they have also fulfilled their purpose.
And they fulfilled their purpose.
It's not that they're leaving. None of this is random. They have fulfilled their purpose to
regardless
take us
if
to
9 or 99.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you were saying, Debbie, and you were asking the question to Lewis, a majority of people leaving, are you just saying, are a lot of people dying, or a particular
No,
group
I'm
of
not
people,
saying a majority. I'm not
Okay.
saying a majority of people are leaving. No. That there seemed to be a lot of people who transitioned, just that I was noticing, of every age group. Let's say it wasn't just like old people, somebody's parent dying and their pets, but all of these I was seeing as they fulfilled their purpose. My spiritual
I
teacher
see what you're saying. I see
took
what you're
his
saying
step,
now.
and it was not necessarily, I mean, he knew he was going to go at some point, but I don't think that he realized it was going to be in October.
Okay, gotcha.
Right.
I understand.
But there were a lot of people who transitioned, and I noticed it kind of in my friends' feed. I noticed it out in the world, just people talking. There were so many funerals and things like that. But I guess my point in bringing that up is that many, many souls have fulfilled their purpose.
Right.
On this planet. So we're going to see more actors and things like that who go no matter what. That is so cute. I'm sorry. That is so cute. You need to put, can you put,
Oh, this
that's
one right
adorable. Here. Yeah, that's adorable, Ava. Uncle Lou. I love that. That's so sweet. But that's kind of one of the things that
later day.
I was seeing, kind of overall. And one of the, so Janet, and I don't want to change the subject if y'all want to stay there, but Janet was asking, what do we have to look forward to? Well,
Right.
I have an interesting, I was looking at the energy. So I don't resist AI because AI has been around way, way, way longer than like if people think that it just came on. No. Well, no, it's been around for years and years and years, and it's been used. But I actually see that there's information, there's some drug breakthroughs that AI has helped, let's say, move along for healing certain things. And I see that they're being held back because, sadly, because of how everybody treats these things when they do come out. And they're waiting until for whatever reason, like I'm not looking into the detail of like, well, why are they holding this back? But I actually see some drug breakthroughs or cures or I don't know quite how I would say that, but that are actually already there. And I think they're going to start releasing some of those things towards the end of the year.
I think there's
two A's. I feel AIDS and Alzheimer's.
AIDS, I see for sure AIDS in that space, the HIV space.
But here's the thing with that is that this was a deal for the HIV AIDS. They're going to release HIV AIDS because the pandemic.
They're going to release the cure, you mean?
Cure for HIV AIDS because of the pandemic, because the pharmaceuticals were able to get so much more infused information.
Yep.
And so this was a bargain deal. And there's also going to be a lot of cancer cures.
Yes, I see that too. Not all, but there's going to be a lot of cancer cures. But a lot of this was moved forward because of AI.
Yeah.
There's a reason it's called artificial intelligence, and that's because it's more intelligent and thinks faster than we do. And can compile information. But I don't resist it. Like I don't.
Right.
Look, anything. I don't care what it is. Ice cream in the wrong hands can be deadly. Okay. It's just, it's how everything is used. So yeah, I'm all about that. And I think that we will be able to look forward to that, to be honest with you, seeing what's going to come. We are definitely stepping up to a higher level this year. That's why all this is happening. When I was talking about the gold energy earlier, that's what I'm talking about. That is the step up. That's the energy that's kind of seeping in and the awareness that's seeping in. But what happens is every single time when we take a step up in our awareness or our vibration or our, whatever you want to call it, our spiritual space, every time we do that, the pain comes out. The darkness comes out. All of the gook that we've been holding on to, whether it was from this lifetime or some karmic things that we've had going on, all of that begins to come out. And that is what we're seeing play out right now. We are actually seeing ourselves take a step up and do this release. And it's not, no one ever said this spiritual stuff is not painful. And in fact, it's very, very messy when we take a step up.
Those of you that watched the first show and are now watching the second show is seeing the second show validating the first show with what you were just saying.
Or
Lewis is nodding.
No. Validated.
You all are validating each other. But I'm just saying.
I think that everyone should take on the energy around, I don't know what that noise is, around the energy of releasing. And releasing should be 2024's mantra.
Right.
And it's releasing fear. It's releasing the control, or releasing the self-doubt, releasing not having your common senses kick in. Like, use those to your advantage rather than opening up YouTube or
right,
for information.
Right.
Like anything
for yourself. And look at it for yourself.
And say, hey, does that information resonate with me? And if it doesn't, stop looking at it.
Exactly.
And don't believe everything you're looking at.
Yeah, I can't even tell you when I've watched the news last.
So it was, and that's what I was trying to say too, Deb, is that we were talking about humanity, stepping up with humanity. We can change this.
That's right.
And when you said the golden light, because I understand you and your energy in the light, we talked about in the last show that we have to step up, and we can change it. We can make it work.
Yep.
And we as mankind, we can change this. And like Lewis was just saying, you got to watch the real news, not the talking heads on MSNBC, CBS.
But even that, there's a lot of spiritual information that is just programming, and it's a lot. If anybody is promoting their spirituality using fear, you better wake up, or else. Controlling people's awareness and not letting folks have free will to be where they are, as the spirits that they are. Right. I mean, this is where there is so much out there. And look, I'm not knocking that there's so much information, but you have to look at it for yourself always, and really be, one of the things I teach in my clairvoyant development classes, pitch, I'm promoting, in my clairvoyant development classes, of which I have one starting on January 16th. But one of the things I teach is a truth rose, and how to discern a truth from a lie. What good is clairvoyance or being psychic or any of mediumship or anything if we can't look and see the truth, and also have the wherewithal to have an open mind to see what is there, and not just decide that this one thing is the answer and the only answer and the answer for everybody. Yeah. It's a space where we have to open up and really look and see what resonates with us, what resonates with our reality. But if somebody comes at you, telling you what to do, and is in a control space, or is in a programming space where this is the only answer, right? But fear is the biggest thing that I see in the spiritual community, is they use fear a lot. And I shouldn't say it's not everyone, but you really, I saw a friend of mine, posted the other day, look, if somebody says they have the only answer and all your answers, run far away. Right?
Sounds like Christianity to me.
Right. But this was regular spiritual. There's a lot of spiritual teachers who will tell you their way is the only way. Right. And it's really, there's so much more to, like, if we can't discern the truth from a lie, what good is being psychic?
Right. And onto that point, but with, not everyone needs to tap into their psychic ability, because tapping into
just
it,
discerning though.
Right. But tapping into it means that they're focusing on it. And some people aren't meant to focus on it, but common sense, what feels right, what feels wrong, that's tapping into it as well without having to like, it's like going poo, and
Going poo.
you can't get it out. You don't need to force it out.
Right.
Just let it flow. If it's a trickle, it's a trickle. Use what you have without thinking that you need to be here on any level.
Well, you don't have to be there,
You
but
don't have to be there.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
But going back to the spiritual community, for $5.99 easy payments of 12, that we will make you psychic. No, you won't.
Yeah. No. Everyone has their abilities, and just because, well, first of all, everything that I do is all about healing anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So it's using that space just to look and see and release.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes right to that point. I found it very interesting that last night, and I still, by the way, I Googled it to death, and I still can't find where it came from. But at some point, and again, I'm not like a Ryan Seacrest fan per se, but I was just watching it last night. But he said last night, the theme for 2024 is rebirth and renewal.
Yeah, they were.
And I was like, okay, where did that come from? It's true, but where did that come from? I could not find where that came from. Like, who decides like what the theme is? But it was, and then I got, an email pushed out about rebirth and resilience. And it's very interesting. I'm starting to see that. Tammy's asking about Lady.
Right. Ladies and gang, we're going to get to those questions soon. Right now, we're dealing with 2024. We're going to have a whole hour of you guys being able to ask questions. So just hold back. If you have,
can we just look at Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce? And will they make it? Will they?
Listen, I need alcohol for that.
Right. But what I'm saying, people, is ask questions about the state of the world, what we're talking about now, predictions for 2024. But we're going to get to your other questions and your loved ones and dead ones and lover ones and whatever. We're going to get to that in a little bit, but we want to get through this part first. So we're watching, and we'll let you know. So what was Amy? Do you know Amy Lewis?
I do know Amy. I met
Amy. Right. Oh, so you did meet Amy. Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Amy Woolley, because she was saying, Lewis, expound upon Putin going down, please. I mean,
that incident last year where his general kind of made a coup? Right. Okay, that was a setup. That was not meant to be successful. That was meant to find out where Putin's weaknesses are, and they're already working on something else. So
the guy died that was leading it.
Well, yes. In the plane,
was he collateral damage?
He was collateral damage.
Yeah.
And so you're gonna hear a lot of chatter in June of this year regarding Putin and just stuff that he's trying to push through. He's losing the war in Ukraine. But they still have missiles, so therefore it doesn't look like it, but they are.
Well, yeah. I mean, just yesterday, just on the news this morning, they're screaming in Russia that Ukraine killed civilians. Well, duh. What have you been doing since you invaded the place?
Yeah.
Do you
the
feel
rhetoric of war?
The rhetoric of war, and it's just crazy. I do believe, Lewis, someone's going to grab him, take him down.
Yep.
But do you think that either of you, do you feel this? There's this huge thing going on in the House here in the United States about funding Ukraine. And these crazy magazines go, no, we're not going to fund Ukraine unless we get what we want. And if we don't fund Ukraine, and Putin could take over Ukraine, his whole thing is to take over Europe again.
Right.
Which is what they wanted to do years and years and years ago, but didn't. But do you think, just a thought, do you think the United States is going to it's going to come through with the funding to keep fighting? I mean,
so think of it as a split level house funding. on the surface, we have the bank.
Of course.
Then underneath the surface, we have the reserve.
Right.
And underneath the reserve, we have a special reserve that doesn't get talked about.
Right.
And they're going into that special reserve.
You by bypassing the idiots in the House.
Exactly.
Keep going. No, no, no.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that why, like, for instance, Biden is allowed to go emergency funding and send it, which he's done.
Yes.
Not the whole amount.
Not the whole amount.
Gets money there.
But it's structured under we need it now to keep our economy going.
Right.
You know, so they're going back to narrative. They're controlling the narrative and basically going squirrel so that they can do their policies behind the scenes, get the funding where they need to, where they want it to go. And we're up in arms because of gay rights and female reproduction rights and all that. So who started it? The government. Right.
I mean, if they're more interested in drag queen story time than worrying about your Putin taking over Europe than a war. What do you two feel about? I mean, it's terrible. Because the narrative is, to me, the narrative is all screwed up in the Middle East between the Palestinians, the Israelis, and Hamas, and it's just the narrative has been controlled in the wrong way, and where people don't understand. It's not the Palestinians, it's Hamas who hides behind the Palestinians, and people forget that Israel had the land way before Jesus was around, and that part of the story never gets told.
It does, but it's he who has the loudest voices, and
well, look at what happened in this country. You're right.
There is a lot of, it's sad, a lot of the people just want to jump on the bandwagon of who's the biggest victim, and everyone is a victim. I haven't heard anything about the hostages or
the rapes, and
all I've heard about, are the sad things that happen in war. I'm not even going to, I don't even want to give it that kind of energy, but it's amazing what we're hearing. And it always seems to be who's the biggest victim, and we're going to get behind that victim. Well, the reality is then they get stronger, and there's a playbook being used, and everyone is being manipulated. They know exactly how each other, like Hamas knows exactly how Israel's going to react. And they know exactly the whole thing is a giant manipulation. And now it doesn't even matter. Look, I don't want anybody to die. Okay, let me just get that really clear here. And I think it's horrible what is going on. Okay, but I am sick to death of hearing this one's the only victim here, and then never hearing there is no such thing as a conflict with one person.
Right.
It's always two-ness, and two-ness is always a divide. You cannot live in a divided world, period. The more we are divided, the more anger and fear is out there. If you want to ask what I can feel fear. That's what I can feel. That's all I feel. When I hear people not wanting to fund this or that, it's out of fear. When I hear, I'm living in Chicago and we're getting busloads of migrants every single day. Now they're flying them in and dropping them off in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
They're staying at police stations.
I know.
Okay. That guy, honestly, today I called him a monster.
He is a monster.
Because his attitude is, you're a sanctuary. And he says it this way, you're a sanctuary city, take them.
Right.
And it's like, okay, you cannot use people. I don't care where they're from. Right.
And this is a man in a wheelchair. I wish someone would shove it up his.
So this is, who's the.
Right.
It's all a playbook that then his fear comes in. Oh, they're going to take over. Here's the reality.
Guess white
what?
Men. I
think the year 2000, we have the same issue. 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 2000
Oh, it's always been in it. Immigration is
it's all cyclical. So I don't know. It's everybody's taking from the playbook, and they're playing on everyone's fear. They're playing on everybody's, because we've all been a victim or some, we've been hurt.
exactly,
Right?
Mary Morris.
And so every time that happens, somebody can play on that fear or hurt or pain. And Republicans are not funding Ukraine because they want to help Trump.
Oh, and
because they think they're going to get somewhere, and they're not.
Well, listen, here's the thing with immigration. Anyone that has watched Star Trek and the United Federation,
right? Yep.
Blah, blah, blah. We are slowly going to that model. Mm-hmm. One government, one world. Mm-hmm. And immigration is the gateway of how that's going to be achieved. Mm. It's not going to be in our lifetime.
No, maybe not even. I honestly, I see about 200 years. About 200 years, 220 years. When we are in communication with the beings from other planets.
Solid communication.
Yes, solid communication, clear communication with other planets, and we begin to open up that space.
Yep.
For ourselves and the world.
Not all the communication with other species is going to be like all the movies out there where it's them versus us. Mm-hmm. War is a human thing.
Yeah.
We're stupid.
Right. Exactly. War and religion.
Yes.
Which is all wars. And what causes all wars?
Money.
Religion.
Religion. But look at what, and that's the thing, is if you look at it, money, religion, it's fear.
Yep.
The baseline of all of it is fear and control. Yep. And who can get what. I am still like trying to figure out how Jews make up 1% of the world. Right. and why there's so much anti-Semitism, and we got to get the Jews, and we got to get is it like the bully on the playground? Like, I don't know. We're just going to get the ones that are the smallest.
But
I don't understand.
Here's the thing with the conflict. Where the conflict is situated, there is a massive energetic sinkhole. You will never be in a peaceful state as long as you touch the sinkhole and so
I live there.
Well, you can attest to it that it has a really dead energy. I'm not saying that the people are dead or anything else like that, but connecting to the earth, there is a massive sinkhole that creates the conflict. And that's why for centuries there has been a whose land is it?
Always.
They cannot decide on that. This is not a new conflict. This is a centuries old conflict, but they've thrown it around, and as we've evolved and we became different kinds of races than, like, for example, from Mesopotamia and all that sort of thing, still the conflict, and it's still there. And why? Because it's densely rich in oil.
Yep. History repeating itself.
And there's always been resources there to mine from. Gold was abundant there. Precious gems were abundant there.
Oh, the material to make the lithium batteries is now where?
Exactly.
In the Middle East.
And
in South America, they're finding out.
South America, you're going to find that there's going to be an economical upswing in South America in certain regions because of resources.
Venezuela has so much oil.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, if you notice, lately, Biden and the government they started doing a prisoner swap, and there's lots of oil there. And it's amazing.
Yep.
It's amazing. But if we go to electric cars, they got to have the lithium,
right?
Which is not here in the United States. I don't think we have too much lithium.
The states have a mandate, because we have a mandate, I think, of 2030 that most vehicles need to be electric.
It's coming up. In California, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that we have a country that all the vehicles have to be electric, because there's no way we could be electric by 2030.
Might be 2040, but it's like soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if you wanted to hit up Amy on, but she says expand on Trump going away.
Oh,
she goes, where was it? Such a good answer about Putin. She goes, okay, now expand on how Trump could go away. I mean, how do you feel?
I know this is going to sound different from his personality, but he actually just kind of goes away. He makes excuses to retreat. He blames the American people. He'll even start turning, which he already started a little bit. He will even turn on his supporters.
Yeah.
He's already started to do that.
Yes.
Yeah,
and so as more and more charges and all that come up for him, his team is going to have a very honest conversation with him and say, you're not going to win.
Well, they keep going, he's in the polls. He's in the polls. Well, who the hell are you polling?
Right.
Are you polling Republicans?
I'm going to jump in. Healer that I am.
Go for it, girl.
There is a whole effing solution for all of this.
What's that?
If everybody pulls all of their resistance out of his space.
Right.
Well, he's the monkey that
he
just
will,
speaks.
but he soaks it in. He thrives on it.
Oh, he does.
If everybody pulled. So everybody give yourselves a big breath right now. Just give yourself a breath and just call back all your energy from the government, from he who I will not say his name still online. I will not use his name ever online. Never have, never will. Of course, unless I slip. Right. But just call back all of that, because what he thrives on is all of your attention.
Of course.
And that's the only thing he thrives on. If he was not getting your attention, if his news cycle and even if the media continues to give him whatever stories or whatever,
right,
if your attention isn't on those stories, if you're not resisting those stories, if you don't get a rise out of those stories, if you go, oh, it's that again, and whoop, bye, scroll by, I will guarantee you that he will absolutely go away exactly the way Lewis was talking about, because he won't have anything to thrive on. This is the way energy works. Sadly. What is happening here, and it's stuck where it is because of all of our resistance to whatever's going on, whether it's to the government. Yes, there's power struggles and things like that. But what is going on stays stuck, because we keep, like, there'll be another story that comes up and you want to go, oh my God, I can't believe that's happening. And then you get afraid. Oh my God, I hope he doesn't get get elected again and all of that. And now you're feeding right in to that flow river and giving it power. So stop giving it power. Is that really where you want to put your power, your own power?
Exactly, but you got the news media who thrives on it, and that's
but they're not my problem. If I don't pay attention to those news,
well, it goes back. Okay, I brought this up in the last show, and that was there are 352 million people in this country, and when you look at the ratings of who actually watches CNN, MSNBC, and Fox, it will blow you away. Do you know how many people watch primetime CNN every night now?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Less than 500,000, 400 and some odd thousand people watch CNN. Wait a minute. MSNBC, 1.7 million, and Fox, about 2 million out of 352 million people. You're like going, a lot of America doesn't pay attention to the news. But yet those three little tiny networks, so they're not tiny, but they're with those amount of viewers, more people watch David Muir at 5:30 or 6 o'clock, wherever it is you live, whatever comes on.
I love him, by the way.
I do too, but more people watch David Muir than all three of those combined, and still they can't match up to the amount of ratings, the amount of audience. So it makes those of us who are political people. Like I watch MSNBC and I listen. I kind of weaned myself away from it because it was making me crazy. Because it's not news. It's
But that
talking
guy,
head.
that statistician, he's really fun to watch.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Was it Steve Kornacki?
Steve Kornacki. But I'm just saying, it's just that I had to pull myself away, wean myself from those networks because it was making me crazy.
But it's not just that. That's their job to suck you in. There's professionals and ratings that
it's called news for profit. The news in our country never used to be for profit. When news became a profit situation, it all changed. It's all about clickbaiting.
Well, why do you think Facebook's having a knip shit that it can't? It's blocked Canadian broadcasting because Canadian law is so tight around misinformation and all that Facebook was like, oh my God, we're losing hundreds of millions of dollars of advertising, so we're just going to stop Canadians from seeing news cycles. And I'm going, thank God. Like.
Yeah. All right, children of the corn.
Ew.
I was being funny. So I think we've covered.
I'm just gonna bring my angel on and just like, yeah, exactly.
There we go. So
the fact that I even have an angel I can grab is very weird. I have like a whole thing of angels here.
I don't have an angel.
Wait, here's my good one. This is we'll just put that on top there.
I have this that I got from Russia.
Oh, that's beautiful. Is it a nesting doll?
No, it's the little things that come up. Yeah, they come apart.
Yeah, the rest.
And there's a
nesting doll.
So anyway, got that. I brought that back from Russia.
So anyway, this is the energy counterpoint that as I try to take it out, if we all started living like the spirits that we are, and I don't mean hoo-ha, woo-woo stuff, but like we are spirit in a body and that we have energy and pull ourselves out of this illusion, or as my teacher used to call it, this video game we call life. If we pull our energy back and just step back and give ourselves a breath for a moment, we can create a completely different space. We can heal ourselves. We can create a different space. We can create a different illusion, a different reality. And the more that we get caught up in this physical thing, right? And what's going on, the more we are affected by the fear, the more we are affected by the programming and really the unawareness of people because they're following the bouncing ball. Right. And that's being unaware. So when you talk about ratings, yes, they do go with the ratings because they're following the bouncing ball. But if enough people begin to stand in their own space,
right,
and have their own space and have their own thoughts and have their discernment, we are going to see a very, very different world. And I think it's going to happen. And that's what all this rockiness, like as we take a step up, we can't take a step up in vibration in a space of anger or fear or programming or control. We just can't do it. So it's where do you want your energy? That's the thing. And if you wake up every morning and say to yourself, and I know I'm being the healer, I'm being the clairvoyant, whatever you want to call it. But if you wake up every morning and say, where do I want my energy today? Do I want it in creating or being mad about the news? Do I want it in deciding or looking at beautiful things? If you wake up every morning and you make that decision, I can guarantee your life's going to change and this world's going to change.
Right.
So, sorry, that's my 2 cents.
So do we want to move on from this and start talking? Do we want to start talking to some people and start taking some questions and do some readings?
Yes, but can I make one really quick comment about Elizabeth says, I feel more like spirit than male or female. Can I just say hello to that really quick? Because there's other things to read. But I actually want to address this because spirit is neither male nor female. It just is. It is energy. It is light.
And it
And
takes
so
a form of male or female
male,
when we
or when we decide to choose a male body or a female body because we want to have a particular experience.
Okay, Barb Clayton just said earlier you mentioned good news. Like, what is the good news?
there will be a lot of healing in the back end of this year.
Yes.
So you're going to find that, okay, so for example, finances, interest rates are going to start to lower. They're not going to significantly lower, but they will start to lower. We're going to start to be able to breathe easier and better. There is going to be a coalition that will be formed. It's going to be loose in the beginning, but it will tighten up as a couple years in, about food pricing and an aggressive, what's that called? Aggressive layering, staggering with the pricing increases.
Inflation.
Well, yes, inflation, yes. But there's also going to be like cutting out the middleman kind of thing, because the grocers are blaming the wholesalers. The wholesalers are blaming the farmers, and the farmers are going, it's not us.
Right.
You know, and so yes, we're still going to have greed in this world, but greed is going to start becoming more accountable.
Mm-hmm.
And so the greedies are going to have to start answering, because we are being, and I hate using this word out of context, but this fits, because we are woke, we're waking up towards the injustice, the imbalance, the what doesn't feel right, and that we are going to stand and unite, and we're going to demand the differences. And so there's no negotiating. You're going to be finding that there's a whole slew of new politicians that are kind of like back in the 60s when they actually gave a damn, and more so about focusing on the people. Like back in the First World War, there was this temporary income tax set in place in Canada anyway, that was only supposed to be temporary, just to jumpstart the community, or the jumpstart the economy. Well, it never went away. So there's going to be plays on how are we taxed. Now, again, it's not going to be this year, but it's going to be the start of this year. How are we going to be taxed, and how often do we get taxed on the same thing? So they're going to start to streamline how money flows. So money is going to flow differently because of the old money is being replaced by new money. Gotcha. And again, that's not overnight, but it is starting this year. Even though there's going to be a lot of water damage in the world, we are coming together. We are uniting like we haven't united before. And so there's going to be a new camaraderie of people joining, not kumbaya, but just joining forces to get shit done. And it's going to be more of not a power struggle, but more of a power play of look what we can do. Mm-hmm. So the change of, I don't want to see it, I don't want to hear it, I'm overwhelmed with always trying to give money to charity and It's not about the money anymore. It's about how do we finally fix things. So there's going to be a new think tank that comes into play. And that could be going back to the AI that Deb was talking about earlier. Right. I think that's going to be a crucial part of how do we. There's something going on with like something new being discovered, something that will benefit, for the most part, humanity once we tap into how to use it properly.
It's already there. I see it's already there, but they don't know how to use it. Yeah,
exactly.
That's part of what I was talking about in that AI with the drugs. I think that's part of it in there. But I just wanted to jump in because I see that as already here, but they don't know. I don't know what would you say, like the benefit.
I don't think they know what it is.
Right. It's
yeah.
Right. They don't know where to direct the information.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're going to be finding through a nose, you're just going to have highlights. You're just going to have these little moments of, That's nice. There's still gonna be shit going on. Don't get me wrong, but you'll be having more. That's nice because, like I said earlier, this year in 2024, we, not the elite, not the power people, we as a general audience assembly are going to be able to sink back a little bit into our chairs and relax because the pressure cooker is finally being released. Now it's not fixed, it's just releasing, and so we're going to breathe a little bit better. We're going to be able to expand, we're going to be able to grow a little bit. So that's the good news. It's not a specific everyone's going to get $10 million kind of vibe, but it is more so about we're unkinking the chinks in the armor.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes sense.
And what we talked about a little bit earlier, but also what we judge as good and bad are judgment words,
right?
Because what we judge, let's say, as bad, when we look at the bigger picture, it is an opening to something else. So what is a rocky start might be making space for something beautiful to come in. What we see as good might be the tail end of something, right? Mm-hmm. It might be solving one problem and then solving 10 more. So it might not even be this one little piece, right? Everything is connected and grows from something else. So it's so great that we can maybe look at things not as good or bad, but as just this is what's unfolding and what we're seeing, so that we can open up a space that's different than where we are.
Mm-hmm.
And ask yourself, what should I do with this information?
Yeah.
Is this for my highest good to pay attention to? And you get, take a pause, get out of your head, get into your heart, and ask the question, is this for my highest good to pay attention to? And it will come back with a yes or no. Typically, one of the most common ways to do that is that if your left ear starts to ring, it's a yes. If your right ear starts to ring, it's no. So if it's no, walk away from it. I don't care how tantalizing it looks and that you just want to touch it, feel it, bite it, chew it. Walk away. You're being distracted.
Or at the very least, if you don't want to walk away, take a step back, give yourself a breath, and look at it again the next day. Yeah, because you might, the minute you pull your energy out of it. So I'm not disagreeing with the walk away, but I'm saying if you can't, because many people, everybody wants to chase the shiny object, right? And sometimes we chase a shiny object and we're not even aware we're chasing a shiny object.
That's right.
So sometimes
we're so programmed.
Have to step back and that's really it. So it's, is this for my highest good? And where I'm going to actually tie that in, and where do I want my energy to be?
Right. Yes.
Today. And where do I want my energy to be? Not where I should go, what I should do, who I should be. Where do I want my energy to
But get out of your head, because your ego is going to want to engage on some level.
Yeah.
When you get out of your head and get into your heart.
Yeah.
That's where the source comes from.
All right. Now,
okay,
we're going to start taking some readings because, trust me, we need to start taking readings. And so, people, if you have a question right now, something that you would love either of these two to feel, we are going to let Lewis and Debbie do some readings here. So,
can we answer Rebel?
Okay, sure. Where is Rebel? Hold on. Let's see. She's asked 5 or 10 different questions. Which one?
No, the one about the rock musical being performed on Broadway.
Hold on. I want to see. I'm here. This one right here. There it is.
Yeah, I just, because I got such a strong hit on that only.
Uh-huh.
So that's kind of why. I actually, Rebel, I see that on a little bit of off Broadway, and there's a tremendous amount of enthusiasm for it being there in some kind of, even though it's a rock musical, which would be like epic, right, on a big stage, but it actually looks like a smaller venue. There's so much bright energy around it, and your enthusiasm there, that I actually see that might work kind of in that space to start, and then you get to take a breath and sit back and kind of look at your creation, because it looks like something that is, I don't know if it's new to you or what you do. Like, I don't know. Do you know them, Lewis? Do you know Rebel? I don't know. I don't know which
Rebel.
But I was just kind of looking at that kind of being off Broadway, but that it's received incredibly well. But I see kind of a smaller venue, so that's what I was seeing. But it's very, very bright and very well received.
There you go. All right, Buck Cherry. Lewis, my friend Jenny used to sing a song to me when we had alone time to me. I cannot think of the name of the song. I hope he will tell you. Much love.
Ooh.
I know, right?
Let me see if I can find Janny. So she's humming. She's not singing. And I'm going, sing. But she's humming. And it's like, well, it's weird. It's weird because it's kind of like a mix of like that old, I don't even know who sings it. You probably know, Michael, it's your genre. Like sugar, like sugar.
The Archies.
Okay, see, told you. And Bon Jovi. And I know that sounds completely strange, but she's humming this, the melody of sugar, but then she's kind of like that like kind of vibe that Living on a Prayer does in the beginning. And so she has a lot of inflection. So the
Janny, the he, she said.
Oh, sorry. So he has a lot of inflection in regards to wording, and it's like when he's humming, it's like up and down, like the vocal has a range to it. But I'm not getting an answer on that. I'm sorry.
So I don't know if this has anything to do with anything, but I keep hearing, what is that song? Both Sides Now?
I looked at life
from both sides now, from in and out.
Joni Mitchell.
Joni Mitchell.
Life's illusions I recall. I didn't really know life at all.
Yeah, clouds at all.
Right.
Even though I like change keys.
Right.
But for some reason that genre came up for me.
There you go.
Yeah, it's like a cross between
somewhere in there. Yeah.
But unfortunately, he's not singing. He's not. He's humming.
There you go. Let's take a look at the Kendall Laxo. Happy New Year's. Any advice on making my manifestations come true in 2024 in career and love? Any guidance on the year to come? Thank you. I'm sorry. I felt like Elmer Fudd. Manifestations. Oh, Father, here we go.
Kendall, I think you're on the right track, but I think that your manifestation's too wordy. I think you have to do it like, for example, when I have people, actually I do it every day. Even if I don't have people coming into my office, one part of my intention prayer is my personal self and now I'm doing it. My personal self and living space is full of harmony, peace, and balance.
Oh, Father.
And I leave it like that. And so I really want you to focus on to the point and not explain it or go into any detail. I want it to be very short and sweet to the point. But I think you're on the right track. Your career, you're going to have to go back to school. Plain and simple. You're going to have to do some form of education. It may not be formal education as in a BA or a master's or whatever, but you're definitely going to have to go into learning through with the career. But the career also takes a turn after you get into it to become it's going to pivot to a more passion project. And so it'll become more and more yours as you work with it. In love, don't focus on love right now. Just let it hang out, let it do its thing, but don't focus on it. I feel like for you, your 2024 year is very much about do not overfill the cup. And so just keep it short, simple, as in the manifestation intentions, and focus on the career, because that's going to help you move forward and into love eventually. But love is probably 2025, 2026 as far as like love. So.
Oh, and I'm going to give you Lewis Maybe's stellar advice. He's going, what in God's name
which
are you
advice?
Say?
I know.
Which advice is
this?
Which
one's got me on
is
pins
that?
and needles too.
But whatever you do, whether you go back to school or you step away from the love, follow your heart and take the steps to get there.
Yeah.
If you want to manifest something, you have to have a space for it, but you have to take the steps to get there. You can't just sit back and do, right? You have to take the steps, follow your, right? Isn't that your advice? I know it is, because we had a whole conversation around this the other day.
How funny.
So Nancy all right. Is my great
now,
aunt.
Who is Nancy Bowman? Maybe.
Hi, Nancy.
Who's my great aunt?
Your great
Hi,
aunt.
great aunt. Great. Hi, Auntie.
Hi, Nancy. So she says, will we move in the next few years?
Probably next year. And you're downsizing. It's time.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. Marianne Spelman. Hey, Marianne. Haven't seen you in a while. Can someone please give me a short reading is how that's a lot. That's a lot. A short reading is a lot. Come back. Marianne, rewrite something you really want to know, and then we can get that's like basically a major reading there. Okay. Here we go. Leanne Brammeyer. Good evening. Will I sell my old house this year? Thank you.
In advance.
Thank you.
Thank you, because I needed that translated too.
I did too. I didn't know. Okay.
Debbie?
Yes, this is mine since I'm a realtor as well. See, I have many talents here. So, Leanne, what I will say on your old house, when I look at the energy of the house, it's like dead. In fact, it looks like kind of one of those old gray kind of spaces, and there's a lot of dark gray around it. I don't know if you have anybody around you who could do a house healing, and I'm not talking about staging, that just smells up the place, but I'm actually talking about a house healing where the energy is moved. One of the things that you might do is you might go in and I don't know why the energy is so gray, but it's like a dead energy inside, and you have to make it alive. Put some live things in there, like flowers or something. So if it's not on the market and you're going to put it on the market, you're going to need flowers. You're going to need to maybe bake cookies, make it smell like a home, look like a home. I know that might seem really weirdly cliche, but the energy is kind of flat, and nobody's going to come in and actually buy that. So if you could have somebody come in, and or you can contact me at spiritlightinsight.com, Deborah at spiritlightinsight.com. My information's below.
Type that in below.
Type that in.
Both you and type in your URLs so that people can contact you. Allow me to do it for some reason.
Go grab it really quick.
Also, everybody, if you go to the YouTube URL that you're on this, or you're on Facebook, either one, and look at the information on this particular feed, you'll see all the information to get a hold of Deb and Lewis for readings.
Yes, we have we both have readings available, and you can but just contact me and I can help you, because that house it needs grounding and it needs some gold, but it needs to be kind of livened up, even if and even if that means you have to give it a coat of paint or something, you have to just kind of make it alive again. And that's how I can answer you. So sorry about that. Thank you.
Okay, Gail says, my dad has passed 2 years ago. Are there any messages from him in general or regarding mom? Thank you and Happy New Year. When is your mom alive or?
There's something around your mom with medication. Either medication or in the sense of she needs to be re-examined, something like that. And as far as he goes himself, what he's showing me is like how a lumberjack would be. Like he's holding his hammer and he had to do his thing and he had to get in there and he had to provide and he had to be, and he was so proud to do that. But yet I feel like sometimes he may not have felt like he himself internally was adequate or enough, that sort of thing, because he did have a sensitivity towards him. Mm-hmm. But he's doing well himself. He's gotten that vim and vigor back. But with your mom, there's something going on with something to do with like medication or follow-up or tweaking, something like that needs to happen.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Hold on. I just lost something here. Hold on. There we go. All right. Next one. Here we go. I don't know how to pronounce this.
It's Ivory. Hi, Ivory. This is one of mine. And
okay.
Yes, this is one of my lovelies that come to my meditation.
Okay.
And all of that. So.
It sounded like I had a hair lip trying to pronounce that.
So can I start?
Please.
Because I know Louis will jump in. But anytime we go into that big year of introspection and hibernation, sometimes it's just to clear our energy. In other times, certain folks used to spend 40 days on mountaintops, like alone, doing that same thing, or meditating under a Bodhi tree. But when we do that, it's a time when we start reflecting, and you will be seeing major growth and clear direction in 2024. Part of what I see is that there's a little bit of fear of you taking those steps because there's been so much energy thrown at you. You're very much an empath, but you pick up all the negative energy. You haven't had a lot of positive support. And so what I would say is take the steps, but you can take little baby steps when you take those steps, and it's kind of like dipping your toe in the water to see is the water freezing cold or is it really, really hot? But go ahead and take your step. I just see a lot of fear of like rejection, and some of that comes from your father overall and in general. And so you're still kind of working on letting go of all of that. And again, this doesn't make like him bad or anything like that. It's just, this is how he communicates, and it's not, your steps are your steps. Yeah. And you need to just take the steps. But in the last year that you have been doing this introspection, there's a space that's opening up that's very, very bright for you. So this is definite. So by the way, the major growth is already kind of there. You just need to take your steps towards your direction, if that makes any sense. So that's what kind of I was seeing there.
Louis?
Just one little thing with that, right on as far as how I'm seeing it. The road might be somewhat in sections only, lily pads. So you just might have to hop.
Yes. Excellent. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Amy Bridger. Will my
He's
husband...
damn well better.
Oh, you know Amy?
I know Amy.
Okay. I was like, will my husband make a move with work? I feel so unsafe putting trust in his workplace.
Yeah,
Yeah,
stop
no.
putting trust in his workplace and put trust in him and yourself. Ground yourself. Trust yourself. That's what you have to make safe because you can hold that space for him. Sorry, I jumped in. I know she's one of your folks, but he will make a move with work. You don't have to feel unsafe with his workplace. Get your own safety and grounding, and that is going to take you so far. I promise you. Right? That's okay that he's loyal to his boss, but you don't have to trust his boss. You ground, and he will follow that because you live together, and so that's kind of how that works. And so to get away while I answer Ivory.
So before the call comes the storm, Amy. So Mike is gonna be. Did you say? Oh, anyway, Mike.
We all know now. Huh?
We know his name.
He's going to be disappointed, but that disappointment turned into I'm out of here. So it will get worse before it gets better, but it's not a buildup of getting worse. It will be a kind of like a transaction where it's like, what? None. I'm done. So it's not going to be disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. It will definitely be a sharp pivot, and he won't be able to pivot with it, and therefore he will finally go out on his own. And I do feel like he will take someone with him, though. I do feel like that there will be a collaboration that they can start their own thing and move forward. So I like that.
By the way, everybody, I'm doing these in order. I'm doing all the questions in order, so hang in there and have patience, okay? Here's our next one. This one, I read this one, I just all of a sudden had heartwarming thoughts. Kathleen Pass. Hi, since 2022, I've been working on building a dog bakery, Muffin Mutt Bakery. 2023 took me off this path, but now getting back on track, feeling like I should add online non-baked items. What do you guys think? Idea?
Hang on a second. If you can jump in, Debbie, go ahead.
I am frozen and can't do.
Oh, you are.
Thing.
Your lips are pierced.
Yes, my lips are pierced. Oh, because I can't. Frozen. Making a comment and everything is frozen.
I agree with you, Kathleen. I think you should add on non-baked items. And in fact, I feel like you're eventually will start formulating raw. And so this could be a delivery service that you do, or that you can go to specific pet stores, pet food stores that will handle that kind of caliber of product that you're putting together. Mm-hmm. But I do like the whole idea of just starting off with biscuits and cookies, and then continue to expand into that non-baked good as well. And then again, like I said, eventually I feel like you're going to be in research and development to do some sort of raw or natural kind of, but I do feel like it'll also be kibble too. So this is the little engine that could. It's not a race. This is definitely something that you're going to be able to pitter patter around and just feel good about. So yeah, good for you.
I think we lost Deb.
I think we did.
Because she's not signed back in. She's not in the green room waiting to get in.
She might be reloading.
She might be. Yeah, she may have lost her something.
Wi-Fi.
Her Wi-Fi or something. Let's see. This one. Here we go. Hi, Mary LV. Do you see anything around my energy? Huh?
Loves to travel.
Loves to travel. Oh, God, Louis, you're so good at this. I can never figure it out. You see anything around my energy for 2024?
Yeah, there's going to be an expansion of your energy in all aspects of your life, to be honest. Now, I'm not going to say that you're going to run away and join the circus, but I do feel like your goal or your mission for this year will be to gently challenge you and get out of comfort zones. And of course, the only way to grow comfort zone is to get uncomfortable. So I do feel like there's going to be a lot of challenge with, I wonder what that's like. I wonder if I can do that. I wonder if I should, check that out. It's kind of like, when people say, what's my passion? I'm like, well, no one not everyone knows their passion, but you guys have those Glade plug-in things down there, right? So,
yeah.
On the box, there's that little sticker that you have to scratch, sniff, and smell. So if you like it, buy it. If you don't like it, put it back. And that's what I want you to start doing is go and try things and do things. And if you don't like it, drop it. If you do, continue moving forward with it. So
Her computer crashed.
Okay.
Okay.
So
I just let everybody know your computer crashed. So we're all waiting.
So your energy is expanding.
Okay, cool. So, all right, here's one for you, Lewis. Lisa Strack says, "Hey, Lewis, I'm feeling stuck spiritually. What do I need to do? Thank you."
Okay, Lisa. You tend to take on people's energy, and you tend to not blame yourself per se, but that energy of like, oh geez, why didn't I see that? Or geez, why didn't I process that properly? And so I want you to let go of that. I want you to start focusing on you and not worrying about helping others so much out of their predicament. I don't really, you don't really are required to go on like a spiritual journey right now. I think it's more so about just having a better relationship with yourself. And like I said before, earlier about like, ask yourself, whatever's in front of you, is this for my highest good to pay attention to? And I guarantee you that a lot of that stuff that you have been paying attention to will come back as no. And so this is a self-growth phase for you. Really dig in. That doesn't mean that you need to be a hermit or isolate yourself, but really dig into me, myself, and I, because you're not a selfish person. So you're able to dig into that and you won't feel the repercussions of what selfishness is.
There we go. Okay, whimsical mistakes. Will my son overcome alcohol addiction this year?
Is this the only addiction issue that he has? Because I'm feeling there's layers to this. And no. Sorry, no. But I feel like he's coming out of something. So I do feel like that he will. Hi, Deb. Audio.
Deb?
I'll get there.
Oh, there she is.
Okay. So I do feel like he's going to get there, like not this year. And if he does go to any kind of addiction or rehab facility, he probably won't complete it. So, but I'm not saying you're going to give up on him, but don't give up on him. It's the planet's, the energy needs to align, and it's not aligned right now for him to overcome it. But I do feel like that he is slowly but surely pulling himself out of the weeds.
There we go. Barb Clinton says, "I'm finding quite a few dimes lately in the oddest places. Dime is supposed to symbolize a sign from a loved one. Are my dimes a sign I'm following a right path, or are they just warning me? What do you feel?"
So I was funny because I was on a radio show a few years ago, and one of the hosts was talking about finding dimes. And up in Canada, we have loonie and toonie. So a dollar and a $2, but they're in coin. So anyway, she's talking about her partner at the time. He's passed away, unfortunately. But anyway, he went into the shower and he showered and a toonie fell out of his butt crack. So that just made me think of it. I don't know why, Barb, but it did. Anyway.
Hopefully no dimes fall out of your crack in the shower, Barb.
This to me feel like a mother type figure that is throwing dimes at you, and it is a thumbs up kind of signal for you, and the right path. I want to say yeah, but I feel like that the path goes from a 2-lane highway to a 3-lane to a 4-lane. So expect expansion to be happening on your path, but I don't want you having control. I want you to be whimsical on the path, and I want you to just kind of go with the flow. Be a bendy willow, and you're going to have more bang for your buck that way.
Does anybody know Pamela Shore?
I do.
Okay, because she says, "Does Lorraine have anything to say to me?"
Okay. Drink up, bitch.
That's what Lorraine said. I have none of us know what you're talking about, but I guess she does.
So Lorraine is like, she should have been a comedian. Mm-hmm. She just had timing. She just knew what to say. She just like, she's just one of those people that always made you feel good. And she is just wanting to giggle and laugh with you, Pamela, because she's seen the new direction you're going in, or you have been going into. And she's like, you're in new territory. So it's like, just relax. Don't worry. Drink up. You know, that sort of like, just calm down because it's all good. So,
okay. Amy says, am I safe to make my house a real home and put down roots here? Am I in the right place?
Yes, for now.
Wait a minute. You both said yes?
Let's ask a realtor.
Oh. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. You put down roots where you are. You have there's some interesting energy in your home there, Amy, and I can actually see kind of in your whole energy field, there's actually a little bit of an excitement there. It's like a trepidation on one hand and then an excitement on the other hand, but there is something that you're supposed to do in that location. I don't know where you are, but there's some energy that is very much connected, and that you what was that?
She's not on the West Coast.
You're not on the West Coast anymore?
No, she moved. She doesn't live in California anymore. She bought a house.
I thought she was upstate. I mean,
okay, well, wherever you are, Amy, but I'm seeing like a lot of ground, and I see that it's very much more grounded than some of the other places that you've been. And there is a space where you actually find a great deal of connection, then not just with your home and your location, but with yourself, even in that space. There's very much a healing space for some reason in that particular house. I don't know that you're going to stay there forever, but boy, it looks like I see little flower beds and things like that. Like I see a lot of kind of you just finding joy in your surroundings that you haven't really had.
Oh my gosh. I know Amy. And so what you're saying is just pretty amazing.
Like if you're in the woods, or if you're near Freeze Forest, go hug them and just.
Yeah, I just see also the perimeter of the house is like, I just see such beauty and you surrounding yourself with such beauty. And it really also looks like that may not have been something that you have done for yourself at any given time in your life. And this is very much a healing space to put down roots there. And actually, I keep getting the word, and this is very interesting, when I start to hear the word, finally, I'm home, which is interesting. And I don't know if you made a lot of moves in your whole life, but I just keep hearing the word over and over again, finally, I'm home. So don't be afraid. Put down your roots. You can always pull them up again and move if you choose to. But for now, this is really a good space for you to heal. And there's something with a male somewhere that you are actually kind of letting go of a bunch of energy from, I don't know if it's an old relationship or what the situation is, but wherever you are, there is really a space of finally, and I see pretty little flowers like around. So that's how I'm going to answer that.
All right, here we go. Karen F. I've had several dreams lately that involve my husband that passed away several years ago. Is there a message in that?
I see a communication, not even a message.
Yeah.
You need to look at sorry, can I go with this one? Immediately when I looked at the question even and sort of tuned in, I got the impression that he was like a list maker or something, like everything kind of had to be in order, but he's like sort of telling you what to do a little bit. So I don't know if it's so much a message, but there's some things that weren't taken care of when he passed. And it seems like he's kind of directing you to pick things up again. There's some things that were either missed or glazed over or something. So I don't know if you have to look at it, if you have a trust or you have some kind of legal stuff that was glazed over, but I would absolutely look into that. It's not so much, let's say, the message that he's coming to, but what is he saying when he's there? And pay attention to your dreams and write them down the minute you get up, because you're going to find the message. You're going to find what he's got to say in that space.
It won't be through dreams. He's going to do point and look. So he's going to, the converse or the communication won't be dream. Dream is
Right.
The connector. But you're going to be like walking down the street and you see a building and you're like, oh my God, I should be doing this. And that's because he planted seeds.
Right. He's directing it, but definitely write down whatever you remember about the dreams, little details, because there's something in that as well. So that's what I'm missing about that.
Ron D. Bryson, my boss is being investigated for bullying and harassment. And I'm on. Huh?
I said, oh, how fun.
Oh, and I'm on paid leave until this is resolved. Can you give me any insight or guidance or to the outcome? Thank you. I love the fact that you two are, you're like,
I'll go.
Okay, go ahead.
It's like you go, I go. It's like when in my CrossFit, you go, I go.
Okay.
Whatever you do.
Because there's a lot of lying and deceit and a lot of mishmash information, depending on who you ask or the investigating people are asking, it's not going to necessarily be resolved quickly. I'm encouraged to have you just stay mum as possible, zip, and let it ride its course. Now, I do feel like that your boss will be more than just have a slap on the wrist with this. I feel like that your boss will be leaving and not gracefully. But at the same time, Rondi, when it's available for you, I would look for another job as well.
Okay.
I'm going to just kind of add here is, Rondi, you need to do some healing. There is a big kind of almost a blanket over you is what I'm seeing, kind of how I see it. That doesn't mean there's a blanket over you, but I'm seeing it as kind of a blanket of energy on you. And I'm actually seeing a real sadness in your heart. So you need to do some healing. Regardless of what the resolution is, whether he leaves or doesn't leave, or you being in paid leave, but there's absolutely a space that I'm seeing that needs to be healed in your heart, and I just want to say hello to that, because as I do, it looks like there's also a space where you haven't been able to communicate your pain before, and there is something here that has to do with that and some kind of connection there. But what I'm kind of looking at here is a space, and I'm just kind of, as I'm looking at you, I'm grounding you and giving you space to have all your emotions about all of it, rather than just shutting it down or feeling angry about it or whatever. But I agree with Lewis. But you also have to look within yourself and do some healing work there.
Cool. Hi, Lewis and Debbie. Angela, our girlfriend from New Zealand, who comes just out to every single one of our shows. She says, hoping 2024 will be a better year.
I love her so much.
What are your thoughts for her for 2024?
So it's
just
jump in. So it's kind of like a big zipper from the top of your head going all the way down, and you're taking off that layer. And you're going to feel alive. You're going to feel the earth. It's almost like you feel the heartbeat of yourself. Mm-hmm. And you're connecting like huge within. So whatever you have been doing, regardless of what you've been going through, you have learned your lesson. And so the reward is these new like little tiny hairs all over your body, but they're all receptacles of picking up energy and capturing it. And that's what you're going to feel like by Mayish of this year.
She's been doing my meditations every week.
Really?
So that's what I'm going to validate that, because what you're reading is actually somewhat a little bit of the result of clearing energy. And the one thing that I am going to absolutely add to that, Angela, is no, you're not too old. Even as Lewis was reading, I kept seeing these pictures that you were kind of releasing. Oh, I'm just too old for this or that or the other
Never
thing.
too old,
You
girl.
are not
Michael.
too old for anything, and it looks like there's some things that you want to do that kind of in your mind you're like, oh, I'm too old to do that, I can't do this or I can't do that. And I just want to say hello to that, because it was so great that even as Lewis was reading, I was seeing these pictures. I'm too old. No, you're not too old. You're all good. You're great, and you can do it, and you don't have to be. There's actually almost a picture that I'm watching you release right now about, well, my mother ... fill in the blank. And you don't have to follow that same path. So love you so much, and thank you always for coming. And by the way, thank you, Lewis, for validating all the work she's doing every single week, and probably on other days as well. So.
And take it from me, Angela, part of the theme of my new show I'm writing is about you're never too old. You're never too old to change, rebuild, reinvent, and start something new in this life. I've done it 20 times already.
Yeah.
And no, I'm just, it's one of those things that when someone says they're too old, I'm the first to go, no, you're not. You're never too old.
Right. Yeah, never too Missy. Right, exactly. And so if anybody else wants to join me, I actually go live at 5:30 p.m. Central Time every Friday.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm on every single Friday on my channel. Michael sometimes pops on. Lewis sometimes pops on. We have a good old time, but we do a TGIF for the curious and enlightened. And at the end of every single like the last 15 minutes or 20 minutes, something like that, we do meditation and clear the energy of the week, so we have clarity for the weekend. We don't have to carry the burden of the week through. So that's my plug. So visit my YouTube channel and come join us.
And by the way, Amy Woolley says thank you very much, because
you're welcome.
You could not have been any more precise. And I'm just sitting back listening to you talk about Amy, because I know her home. I know how it's like. You're so right on, Debbie, reading for Amy. And I
love it.
I could just tell. I'm sure she'll validate that. Okay, here we go.
Awesome.
Trish Trotton. Hey, Trish. Any messages from my parents, Annie and Patrick, from the other side?
Wait, that way. I feel like this is like the Brady Bunch square.
Right.
Okay. Who really, out of Annie and Patrick, really enjoyed Christmas, Trish? Because there was like this connection piece around the holidays that just made them smile. One more over the other, but definitely like just smile. And there's something around you, Trish, that I don't even know if you need to tap into this, but you're going to be finding that around March and April of next year, and this is coming from them, around March, April, this year, God, 2024, that you're kind of like turning a corner that you didn't know existed. But when you do, they're going to be right there to support you. But it's not, don't worry, it's a good turn. But they're going to be right there to support and show up and be able to just give you big hugs. And it's not because you need the hug, it's because you deserve the hug. So, but yeah, like Christmas, holiday time, totally one of your parents' jams. So they are happy campers.
Tom Dinder writes, there are days where I feel so empty, I think of the lyrics from Jack and Diane. Life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. What causes that feeling of emptiness?
Energy.
Thank you. I knew you were going to say that word.
Oops, sorry. See, and I got bells from it.
Hollywood
my
Hotel,
God.
1 moment,
That's
please.
great. That's great. Yeah, I don't know. I've got my do not disturb on. So how anything rang through, I'm telling you, I get booted. Usually when there is when we have apathy or boredom, or we feel empty, it's because our spirit is not kind of with us. We've taken on so much energy, and you come every week, Tom, or at least, check out my YouTube after that. And that feeling of emptiness is needing to fill up and reconnect with yourself as the spirit that you are, and also get your creative energy going. It almost looks like you went into a space of failure and never came out, and then went down that rabbit hole more and more and more, and just focused in that space, and just took on, it's like a lot of invalidation from others, people throwing pictures at you that are, let's say, you're a failure, you're never going to amount to anything. Like, it might even have been when you were a small child. So all of that has just kind of weighed on you. And I do see what's the point anyway? What's the point of living? What's the point of any of this? Well, there is a huge point. Just because you didn't, let's say, have others validate you, particularly male validation, that doesn't mean that you're a failure. And it doesn't, and I said this the other day, I think, on my show, I'm not sure, but I had a sales trainer once that said, I never see failure as failure, but as an opportunity to learn. And what I would say is reconnect with yourself. There really is a space and sadness that I'm just kind of working on that right now, and reconnecting you with yourself, and just bring in that gold light and reconnect. And there's a lot of loss in your life, and you don't need to follow it out. I think you're much more sensitive than you think you are, and so you're kind of following a lot of other people's loss, a lot of other people's sadness, a lot of other people's energy. And sometimes we want to follow it out. We want to go down the rabbit hole and just match all that energy. So come on over to the light side and connect. And I know that, I think Lewis probably has something on this as well.
Yeah. Not that you necessarily measure yourself against other people's successes. You are a late bloomer, and you see all the people walking by you going, oh, their success, where am I? Mm-hmm. And going back to it's coming. But going back to what we said about the door, and like, you just slam the door, you bolted the door shut behind you. Mm-hmm. And you need to, and this is the patience, where patience comes in. I need you to dissect that door. I need you to, one by one, take out the nail. And that's the healing that Debbie is talking about. And it's not about a massive, like, okay, let's heal.
Yeah, no.
This is about this nail represents my disconnect from my mother, my father. This nail represents the disconnect from myself. This nail disconnects the love that I deserve to have and that I need to show myself. And so instead of having external validation, go internal and do it yourself. You have to do it yourself. External validation on any kind is not going to work for you, because you're just going to start matching yourself up to time frames that don't exist for you.
Yeah, and it's really important that in that space, you stop believing all those things other folks told you. You've had a lot of negative people in your life. I don't know if you had a partner or something, or but there's just been a lot of invalidation that's come your way. And so stop listening.
All right, here we go. Terrell Dixon says, do you see anything for me for 2024? I'm struggling asking a specific question, so I understand if it's too broad.
I think your project that you've been working on for the last few years is gonna really start to take hold. In fact, because you have two sets of points of interest, and I'm going in your career field for this. You have this big caring, compassion heart of wanting to do well or do better for people that can't do better for themselves. But then you have this whole thing where you want to fly on your own and do it. It's time for you to start the sliding scale of disconnecting from your 9 to 5 and really start focusing more and more on your self-employment, your passion project, that sort of thing. You can't have both. It's okay to make sure that your bills are paid, but you can't have both, and you have to really trust yourself and throw yourself into your passion project. It will fly and you will be in demand. It's coming. It's just not quite here yet, but you also have to put more time and energy into it. You spend a lot of time getting things organized. I want you to use that time now and just create. It's like, I don't know, is it Einstein that had the messiest desk, but yet he knew exactly where every piece of paper was? You don't, Michael too. You don't, as long as you know the flow, you don't have to present yourself in a specific way of organize or whatever. Let your chaos flag fly, girl.
And I'm also going to add, you've got to clear the fear. Yeah. I've seen like the memes that say, fear of flying or whatever. There's a little bit of a fear of success on your own and what you will do with that. And so just say hello to that in your space and just notice that fear and just try to see, where did that come from? Was that something somebody made you afraid when you were little? And about taking a step like that and kind of moving out of the normal lane. And so it's time to just look at where that came from and you'll be able to release it and just, whew, I see like a giant opening.
So, the Media Hound PR wrote, I have a few projects going. One is a children's book. Got vibes on any of them? Thanks. Enjoying the show.
Are you going to be illustrating yourself, Media Hound, or are you going to have someone else illustrate? Well, because fine. The reason why I'm asking is because if you're able to do the illustrations yourself, that's fine. But if that's not your forte, go get the help, because it's going to give your book more bang for your buck. I don't know. I feel like your writing is strong, but I'm not sure if your communication in the sense of this is what I want is clear to others. It might be clear to yourself, but it might get a little bit muddled when you're having to ask someone for help. Mm-hmm. Anyway, when you start asking for help and getting the right people in place, which I don't have any doubt you will find those right people, you're going to find a lot of success with the books. But I also get the sense there's something around, I don't know, bringing back an old format only as an example, like, back in the days, David and Goliath, the claymation boy and dog.
Oh my God.
There's something with a story telling through your book that you're going to bring to life. But it's not a movie. It's something though that it might be on a YouTube channel or something like that just gains growth and popularity. So yes, it's going somewhere.
The Flying Goddess says, I feel there are spirits in my home. What are they trying to tell me?
Don't burn the water.
Don't burn the water.
It's like, I used to work with a comedian, Jackie Vernon, who was the voice of Frosty. Jackie Vernon used to talk like this. And he had a great line. A wet bird never flies at night. And and I'm like, but you have to, it was this whole entire joke that he went through, and it took him 15 minutes to tell the joke. And it all started with a wet bird never flies at night. And it was one of the funniest routines. So when you said, don't burn the water, I thought,
my God, that's
has
so
nothing
good.
to do with.
So I want to just say hello to, you might feel like there's spirits in your home, and there are, but they're actually around you, not, let's say, from your home, from the home. So just be aware of that. And the message, you got to listen to the message. But the funny thing is Louis, when you said don't burn the water, I actually saw her cooking at the stove right when you said that, and I just had to laugh about that, because it just was, it was just too connected. But I do see that the spirits, I don't know if it's a grandmother or a great grandmother or something, but there's something there with that. And if you just settle down and start to listen, you're gonna get your messages. But I did see a lot of cooking and creating at the stove, like cooking meals or things like that. It was interesting. And one of the things for the Media Hound, also, I was looking at I saw like little people in there. So you saw the claymation, and I saw a lot of blue, like a lot of blue color, a lot of blue, like surrounding the little people, like a blue coat or a blue, not Smurfs, not the people weren't blue, but there was just like a lot of this beautiful blue color. So I don't know what the artwork is. I just kept seeing this blue, and then there were some violets and some pinks. So it's a really interesting energy on the children's book, and that is kind of lighting up, really pretty joyful in there. So that's what I was looking at. And thank you, Janet, about the Friday shows. I saw Michael put that up.
Everybody from Trish, all of them said thank you, thank you, thank you. There, you two have been right on. We're over the 2-hour mark, 2 hour and 5 seconds. And we actually have, this old bitch has been going for over 4 hours. But it's okay, because I don't have to talk as much as you two. There's only one more question left, and that is, and I just had it. Where the hell is it? It was Karen Thomas, and she goes, any advice for me in the coming year? I know it's about as vague as you can get, Karen.
Don't do that.
I mean, we try to be a little bit more, come up with
specific.
something, advice in your love life and your cooking life or whatever. But should I move?
That's a flying goddess.
Oh, that was flying goddess. Never mind. I'm stuck. Where am I at? Karen.
Okay. I'm going to start it, but Debbie's going to finish it.
Yes.
Because
Karen's one of mine.
Okay. Because
Karen is one of yours?
One of mine.
Because there's just a ton of healing that still needs to happen. And I feel like I'm going to be really honest with you, but please do not take it the wrong way. Yes, you are progressing, but you're not where you think you are, but that's okay, because you're going to get to a plateau where you're going to have this magnificent view, and then you're like, oh, I get it now. So it's not like you're full of shit. Mm-hmm. You're just, there's still more work to go to get to that plateau. And when you reach the plateau, like I said, you're like, you will literally exhale and go, oh my God, this feels so good. Yeah. And when that happens, then you'll understand the journey. Okay, Debbie.
And I will add to that, is one of the things that I'm looking at is a frustration with the status quo and getting things done. And I see that you're still in kind of that space, Karen, of just that kind of fighting the male, let's say the male powers that be where you work, and just let go of all of that. It's okay. You're actually making more headway than you think. Yes. They are, I'm not going to say coming around. It's not that, but sometimes we have to plant the seed. And what I want to assure you is you have planted the seed really nicely, and you've been watering it really nicely. That doesn't mean you need to be nice, but let go of all that resistance, or, that, as Lewis said,
damn thing.
Just you're gonna get there. But it actually does open up again towards the end of the year. I think, like when the clouds part, like what I was talking about earlier, that's also when you get your let's say epiphany. And Media Hound was saying, picking up on one of the photos artwork. Oh, awesome.
Hey, you two. And this is the last question so far. No more are coming through. Does my sister Elizabeth, Anne Chevalier, does my sister Elizabeth have a message for me?
Cavalier.
Oh, it's not Chevalier? Is it Cavalier?
It could be Chevalier. So
I was thinking of Maurice Chevalier.
Knew exactly where you were going there.
Right.
He can't even talk anymore. You know what? You should have been drinking for this 4 hours, Michael.
I know. I'm tired, and I have to pee so bad. You have no idea.
Well,
So go ahead.
We're fine.
I will. You're
can
fine. I'll be right back.
Fine.
Then
Go pee.
Take over, Lewis. Lisa wants you to say a prayer.
You can't leave. Just
check on my dog too.
Yes, do please.
You guys can follow the comments. I'll be right back.
We can do that.
God, I'm old. My bones are.
Oh, what can we do now? He's gone.
Right?
He's gone. What should we do? What should we do? What should we do?
Go with Anne.
Go with Anne. Where's Anne? Does my sister Elizabeth have a message for me? You know, it's very interesting. She is there with you, and the only thing I saw that the message was, "I'm here with you. You're doing great."
It's like solidarity. Like
it's like she has your she's got you. She is your support, and she's with you. And what I see is like a big question about like you're uncertain when you make decisions and things like that. Because the first thing that I heard and what I heard her say was, "No, I got you, and you've got this." Like she's like your cheerleader. So I'm not going to leave you with that. And it's not, you know, a lot of times the messages that Spirit has for us are so simple and so straightforward, and they're exactly what we need. So Anne, you have so much support from your sister Elizabeth, but I want you to know that she's also there with some other loved ones. I don't know if you have a father or uncle or someone else that has passed, but you've got kind of a little group there, plus your spirit guides, Anne. Oh my God, they're standing in the background. They're like, "Hey, we're here," like waving their arms and everything. You've got a lot more help. So have your certainty in your decisions moving forward, because you're actually doing great and you don't need to doubt yourself. You've got the support. That's what I'm going to say about that. Oh, we can't move that question down though, because he's got all the control.
I have the flying goddess. Should I move? Not yet, but yes.
Yeah, I don't. Part of what I see in for the flying goddess about moving is about asking about the Champers, asking about the spirits there. No, because if you move, the spirits are coming with you because they're with you. They're not in the home.
But honestly,
in this case,
so don't always think that if you have a spirit around you that they have to send you messages. Sometimes they just
Sometimes they're just there. Like they want to learn from you. Yeah. Spirits, it takes a tremendous amount of energy to create a body. So sometimes spirits are with us because they want to learn from our experience. Right?
I'll
they want to kind of
take him out to pee.
Could you take this? Okay, that's great. But could you take this comment off? And so we can, because we can't do it.
You guys are so
well, you know.
There you go.
Thank you. That's all, because we can follow along. Did that make sense what I just said, Lewis?
Yeah.
Yeah. They like some are here to learn, some are here to help us, some are here to counsel us. And so there's many, many different reasons, and there's many different kinds of spirits. So that's what I'm going to say. But I'm kind of excited that I got the artwork on Media Hound. It's kind of fun.
Lewis, if it helps, my friend is Jenny Blaine from the band Warrant. Yeah. So that's again where I was coming up with the Bon Jovi stuff, because but it's a more of a melodic kind of hum, but yet it has that boom, boom, like it has that vibrato that he's just not freaking humming it. I mean, singing it. Sorry, but I'll keep working on it.
It's funny. I don't see him singing it either. I honestly, it's interesting, but what I kind of do see is that there's a space where the information that I'm seeing is that he's not singing it anymore. It's not just that he's not singing it. He's not singing it anymore. So whatever situation you were in where he was singing it is over. It's done. That moment. So that doesn't mean, in other words, it's in the past, but he's just literally not singing it anymore.
Cheryl Ann, in the future, will I be moving to California or Oklahoma?
Montana.
I like Oklahoma for you.
Yes.
My sister Diane passed September 4th, 2023. We all miss her so much. My nieces, her daughter is deeply saddened. Is she with my parents and grandparents? Yes, she is sleepy though, because this seems to be her passing was, not that any other passing isn't tragic, but this passing was like overwhelmingly what's the word, stressful. And so she's just kind of like in this status of just like chilling out, but she is surrounded, and it seems to me like your mom came to get her. So she had direct travel right to where she needs to be right now in the afterlife. So
looks like she had kind of a rough exit.
Yeah.
There. So she's actually, I do see her still healing.
Yeah.
In this space, and she will take a little bit of time to heal. And you know, your grief is so natural and normal. But she's okay, but she's still healing. One of the things that she fought is that she didn't want to leave. And then she let go. And so she's healing from all of that space, but I do see the family around her. So rest assured, she's got a lot of help and a lot of spirits helping her heal so she can take her next step.
Yeah. Carla, do you have a month for the ending of my situation? It comes in the spring, mid-spring.
I was seeing March, so there we are.
Kathleen, my ex passed in August, and I now own solo the house we built in 2015. It's a wonderful country home. Do you see me keeping it or selling it? I'm already selling another home. Keep that one.
Keep that one. 100% keep that one. And actually, part of what I'm seeing there is you keeping that one for actually a longer period of time. It's really interesting. It's really
you're living in it.
Yeah, it's a great space.
Yeah.
The space looks really good. And
yeah. Diana, will Al call me to discuss property settlement this year? Yeah. You might have to force him.
His energy and attention is somewhere else.
Yeah.
Actually. So you might have to gently, what will we say? Massage the situation.
Right. Yeah.
His energy and attention. He's not very.
Well, he's not very.
His energy and attention is not in that space at all. It doesn't look like he actually cares to discuss anything. So Diana, you're gonna have to massage it, but I wouldn't do it right.
Not passive aggressively.
Yeah, no,
not passive aggressive.
No, it not passive aggressive at all. When I say massage, is that you need to be very aware when you approach it of where his energy and attention is, because that's going to be critical, because it looks like he just kind of goes off his thoughts and things like that, and he gets very tied up, and then it's almost like this to him is so. It looks like it's much more important to you than it is to him. So you need to let him know how important it is.
He's greedy. He wants to bypass it.
Yeah.
Trish, my uncle in Scotland passed unexpectedly in October 20th. There you go. I was lucky from your advice to see him one more time for me. His name is Anthony. He
oh wow.
Yeah, he
and hi Trish.
He's fine. He's strolling. He's already strolling, which is interesting because he's not really even that tired. So he was ready to go. Even though his body might be a little bit resistant, but no, he's strolling like the Highlands kind of vibe. Like he's just humming, minding his own business, doing his thing, cup of coffee, just living.
Doesn't he look super free? His energy looks so super free. Like he's like, yeah, life, cool, awesome. This is better. Like he's freely enjoy. He's like very free as a spirit.
Yep.
His energy. Yeah. Interesting.
And that also goes to what Trish just wrote about. He wanted to join his daughter and his wife because he's like just so free. Like he's
so free.
I'm where I need to be. Mankato, will we buy our home and move third quarter 2024?
Okay, can I jump in on this?
You sure can.
It has nothing to do with predictions.
Okay.
Okay.
Because this has nothing to do, like, thank you so much for your questions about homes and things like that. But if you want to buy a home and move in the third quarter of 2024, then do it. Us predicting it has nothing to do with anything. It's you. What do you want? Do you want to buy a home and move in the third quarter, or do you want to move in the second quarter? Because if you actually have the desire and want to move, I personally see that you get some super exciting thing that happens like in the end of the summer or something. I don't know. That is the third quarter, isn't it? Oh, is that the second quarter? Okay, so that's the second quarter. But I see some super exciting thing that happens in your world. And what I see about the home and the move is the potentially where you are going to move shifts to someplace else. So let that kind of all unfold, but put into motion what it is that you want, because a prediction is, I don't want you to get stuck on a prediction and say, okay, now I have to do this, because you're going to shift the direction of letting things unfold in your life. Yeah. And it's not that we can't look at that for you and say, oh yeah, there's energy there, but something that I see happening in sort of July, like end of July, that's right around my birthday, and August, I see just this extreme excitement, like right around that time, and that something shifts, and so maybe you change directions or jobs or something in that time, but it's very bright in like July and August. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. Go ahead, Lewis, and take that. I know I got on my high horse about that, but
no, I'm reading the question a little bit differently than what you are, but I do agree with you about what you said. I feel like that this is more of a strategic placement of moving and the need to move in the third quarter, which I guess would be
September,
July, August to October. So it's definitely fall. I feel like it's more fall than summer. But I also feel like that with that move becomes new beginnings, new outlooks, new directions. It could even go into your career fields as well. So I do see the latter part of the year, but you also have to make sure that it's the right fit for you. So
yeah, no, absolutely. And actually, it's like, I want to know what that exciting thing is that's going to happen to you in July or August, because that is so bright. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't think that she knows it yet. But when that time frame comes, as you said, it's kind of like, ooh.
Yeah, you'll know. Like, Mankato, you will know it like at that time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, because I was just reading like it was a specific, why there was a specific with the third quarter.
Yeah.
Must be in business though, because no one talks about third quarters, about moving. Well, I move in July. So you must be in business.
Okay, I'm not going to be able to last much longer. I'm really exhausted.
We know. It's okay.
I'm just tired. I'm trying to
Kim Wilson.
Let's see, where are we? McCarty. Let's see, Diana.
I'll do Dan Gottfried.
There we go. Here we go. Let me see what this is. I'm starting to just see shit. Oh, hi, Lewis. I'm Tara Dixon's partner. Do you have any messages or feelings from my mom who passed?
Terrell. She signed in as Terrell. Terrell Dixon, but he's using her real name.
See how confused I am right now.
I'm not. So yes, she's giggling and laughing with you, and she's like, I appreciate not. I want to prefix not that she didn't appreciate you before, but she appreciates you even now that she's passed, because she's learned to let go of just like, like when some people just are like very formal or just very rigid and that sort of thing. I'm not saying that she was like that, but she now sees how you're thriving, and she's like, she wants you to be different. She wants you to be unique. She wants you to be that forever kid. And she really just wants to impress upon you of never losing that childlike tendency and quality that you do, because you're still getting your shit done. You're still adulting, but you really do well when you play. And so she just wants you to know that she appreciates you even more, because she sees the impact, she sees the connections that you're making and having and all that sort of thing. So she's like, good job.
All right. This is our final one. But I have to say something. I have to say something. You have kept a consistent audience since the beginning. It's come down a little bit, but the two of you have kept a very consistent audience on from Esther Goldberg.
Because
TV.
we love each other.
But it comes across. I cannot do this next year this long. I will be like, I'm just hungry. My dog is hungry, and I have to feed him.
We are good.
Well, let's answer Pamela.
Let's answer Pam's, and I know. Hold on, but I want everybody to know that to get a hold of Lewis, he'll type it in again, lewismaybe.com, and Miss Deb will type in spiritual. Where the heck is it? Spiritual insight. So that if you want to get a hold of them, have a reading from them. It's also for those of you on YouTube, which seems to be the big audience right now. If you go to the actual show, once it goes back up again, or look into it, you can see all the information to get a hold of either of these two incredible friends of mine.
And
but
please
also
join my Friday.
Sorry, you just made me lose my train of thought.
I'm sorry.
I was giving you guys a compliment and you interrupted me. So I just wanted to say, my two good friends who are very, very incredible psychic mediums, this is it. Pamela Shore, any advice from my dad? P.S. Thanks, you guys rock.
He's, I'm seeing him. It's kind of funny. And Lewis, you can take this, but it was kind of funny because just even in asking the question and tuning in with Dad, it's like I saw him kind of sit back in an easy chair and just kind of lean back in his space. And he had such a gentle demeanor, very interesting. So I don't know that I see any advice. I do see him sitting back though and watching you and just being kind of, he's just quiet. So anyway, go ahead, Lewis. I don't know. I'm sure you've got something there.
To me, he's like, make sure your brother plays nice with you. And
there you go.
And it's don't let him take over. Don't let him take charge. And he's like, so
there you go.
There you go.
And there we have it. 2024, the year ahead. How much fun have we had this afternoon? We learned a lot. We got a lot of feeling on what's going to happen in the coming year. You know how to get a hold of these two amazing friends of mine who are also gifted, psychic, intuitive, fabulous people. And we're back. We're back. I'll be back weekly with a show, whether it's Psychic Sundays or a different topic. We're back and great things ahead. Once again, you two, thank you so much. This is Michael Airington.
Thank you for having us.
And we will see you soon.
Thanks, everyone.